This episode contains possible spoilers for Joker 2.
It's a woman's world.
This is a woman's world. Tell the truth.
Okay, that's gonna be the intro.
No, I'm good.
Hello, monsters, and welcome back to the House of Delusion, your go-to Lady Gaga podcast. I'm your host, Billy Bomber, and as always, I'm joined by my fabulous co-hosts, Cal and Bling.
Hey everyone, it's great to be here. I know I missed the last episode. I'm sorry, real life happens. We have so much to talk about today. We have to talk about the jazz and piano show's ending. We have to talk about the news about Joker Folie Deux. But the real news is what Bling is about to introduce.
Hi, Delulus. Bling here. Before we dive in today, picture this. The world's most iconic river, the Seine, transformed into a stage for an out-of-this-world performance. What if Gaga herself is set to headline the 2024 Paris Olympics closing ceremony? We'll discuss all the clues and why Thomas Jolly's Instagram activity has little monsters buzzing.
Plus, we'll be sharing the latest updates from Gaga's world. And finally, we've introduced a listener's question segment at the end of the show.
Exactly, so don't forget to join the conversation on our social media channels. You can follow me on Instagram by searching bomber.billy and join our community on Discord by searching discord.xyz/House of Delulu. Let us know your theories and we'll be sharing some of the best ones in our next episodes. So, let's kick things off with the latest news and rumors before we dive into today's main topic.
Now, this topic is a topic that we did want to talk about today. However, we wanted to discuss it with one of our server members, Spider. He's not scary, even if you hate spiders, I promise. It's a nice spider. So unfortunately, Spider could not be here for this episode, so we had to move ahead with actual pertinent and relevant Gaga news. So...
Not AI leaks, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, sorry.
But we wish Spider the best of luck, and we will see him in one of the next episodes.
Absolutely.
Love you, Spider.
I'm a strong Italian woman.
And so for our next news bit is on jazz and piano. The show finally concluded on Saturday, July 6th. Gaga was counting down, or seemingly counting down on social media to the end of it, but it really led to nothing, or so far that we believe. Bling, can you kind of dive into what happened to jazz and piano since our last episode?
Yeah, of course. So we had reached, I think there were 5 shows left, and she had repeated some posting patterns, counting down 3 shows left, 2 shows left, etc. And we were all thinking something big was going to happen at the final show, or she was going to post something after the final show. She didn't even acknowledge the end of jazz and piano, which, you know, she's very gracious. So that was pretty strange. In addition to that, we noticed her hair changing and stuff like that. There were all these theories. Getting darker, Born This Way vibes. We were thinking by the end she's going to have all black hair. Was not the case. After the show, she had been spotted with like a headscarf hiding her hair, seemingly. So people were thinking that, oh, she's hiding her solid black hair, but the day before the end of the last show, she was spotted with her normal hair. So, but yeah, we did end up getting a really iconic Bad Romance performance.
Yeah, and you told me to watch that before this episode of the podcast, and it is stellar. Her vocals, for those of you who haven't watched it, Cal, I'm talking to you. You got it. Her vocals are heavenly.
I will. I have homework. I'll do it.
You all have homework, by the way.
So she also read a fan letter from a monster that's actually traveled across the world to see her. It was a German or Norwegian monster. I can't really remember, but it was their 30th birthday. And they had previously seen her at Born This Way Ball, every single European Chromatica ball. They asked to get a hug and come backstage. They did go backstage, right?
No, I don't think.
Nope, they were rejected.
She skipped over the part when they were talking about previous memories of going backstage, I believe. So understandably, like, she's a busy woman.
But yeah, as a longtime fan, it was just really heartwarming to see that because, you know, she hasn't she hasn't done that since over 10 years. She didn't do it at Joanne Tour. She didn't do it at Chromatica. So, I mean, how did you guys feel when you saw that?
I felt that the individual in question who wrote the letter was obscenely rich.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
100%. And to close out Jazz and Piano, we have a total count of, I think, 3 times for the entire residency where she mentioned, I'm going to hell. I guess a little LG7Ts. We're not sure. She also mentioned when she comes back, she'll have a new show and something about having a, quote, pop show. So I think in the future, hopefully after LG7, we can expect another residency.
Enigma 2.0.
Please, God, no.
And speaking of going to hell, there are some Joker rumors that popped up on Reddit recently.
So there is a Reddit user by the name of The Healing Place, and they state that they have seen a rough cut of the full second trailer for Joker Folie Deux. They had a couple of comments about it. They say that Gaga has a lot of spoken parts. The song throughout the entire trailer is the Charlie Chaplin song Smile. That's kind of an Easter egg for those of us who remember the beginning of COVID, because Gaga sang that song for her COVID concert, although this time it's being sung by Joaquin Phoenix in the trailer.
Ooh.
Yeah. They say that Gaga looks really unhinged as Harley, especially in scenes where she has wet-looking short hair and makeup. Basically, this is like kind of the imagery that we've sort of seen through image leaks and everything of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And their favorite line was at the very end of the trailer where Gaga said something akin to, I used to think my life was a tragedy, but it's a comedy, followed by the Joker laugh.
Relatable.
And I'm just looking at the post here on Reddit too. So it seems like they're just really, really excited about it. And yeah, it looks like here the current runtime is around 2 hours, 20 minutes. And the movie is going to focus on music therapy sessions at Arkham Asylum, which is a location in the DC universe there. So very interesting. I personally believe and hope that the next trailer will be showcased by the end of Comic-Con at the end of the month here. I think it ends around July 29th, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully we could get something by then. I feel like it would be a great event to showcase the trailer, but I guess we'll see.
We also got some tea from World of Real that the Joker cut that they saw had 20 songs, 4 of which were original songs. One is a duet, obviously, with Joaquin and Gaga. One of the songs, the covers, is of Dinah Washington's The Bitter Earth with reworked lyrics. So the Joker casting director, Francine Maisler, was interviewed by Rolling Stone and had this to say about Gaga. She's so good in it, you guys. She's going to blow your mind. I didn't suggest Lady Gaga. It wasn't my idea. That was Todd Phillips before me. But I will tell you, she's surprising and really, really good. I saw it and I was really surprised. I mean, we all knew what she could do in A Star Is Born, but I thought, oh, well, that's kind of in her wheelhouse. I actually totally agree with her. She also says something she could do and just be real. But this, man, she's good. Joaquin blows your mind, but that she could keep up with him and be real and not just wiped off the screen by what the role and what the performance is. She shows she's good.
Wow.
What do you guys think about what she said?
I have chills.
High praise.
I mean, I think this is going to be the defining role of her career.
Absolutely it is. This is her, the dramatic role that every actor, actress, anyone in the kind of cinema, film, theater strives for. That serious role that helps you, pushes you out there. A Star Is Born, yes, was serious, but I feel this is on a whole new level.
Because like Francine said, I think a lot of people said, yes, Gaga was good in A Star Is Born, but it's about a meteoric rise to fame of a female star out of nowhere. It's like
Italian.
Yeah, it's like yeah, it looks like this role was written with Gaga in mind. So I think a lot of people enjoyed Gaga's performance in A Star Is Born, but weren't necessarily surprised by it. Mm-hmm. Whereas here, it might be a little more surprising, we would hope.
Right. And also House of Gucci, she was playing an Italian murderer, but
whose accent sounded Russian. Yeah.
Right, allegedly. So I'm really excited to see, this is other than her kind of being known for taking or even using dark imagery and performance art. But this is the first time that I feel, it's very outside of her, I guess, comfort zone or what's to be expected. But I think I touched on it in either last episode or the one before. I'm wondering if this performance in Joker helped her access that art of darkness without living in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I do remember from somewhere where she said she was getting a lot better at not falling completely into the dark parts when she plays dark parts. And she's a lot healthier now.
Oh, yeah, that was one of the Chromatica Ball interviews she said.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys know more about these things because I'm so out of the loop on her comments.
It's just I'm chronically online, so.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I want to go hang out with that horse later.
And now on to the bulk of our episode today, which is on some Gaga X Olympic rumors. So, super exciting details, but I'm going to let Bling take the stage on this one.
Okay, everybody. So last week, Thursday, July 11th, there was a French outlet, Pure People, that posted and claimed that Gaga is, quote, expected to sing at the closing ceremony for the Olympics in Paris on August 11th. They're also quoted as saying Gaga is soon to release her new album. And it should be noted that this particular event garners 2 to 4 billion viewers. Also that same day, the Paris 2024 official Olympics account, Stade de France, and Thomas Jolly post a black and white trailer for the Olympic closing ceremony. Did you guys all see that?
Yes.
Oh,
What did you think about that?
not confirming that Gaga's there, of course, but very Gaga LG7 visuals that we've been exposed to so far.
Suspicious.
It literally, to me, just looked like an interlude from one of her concerts. Like, it's crazy.
Absolutely, actually, yeah. Now that you mention it.
So speaking of interludes, there is an interlude entitled Psychedelic, but we all kind of know it as the Eclipse interlude, which the Olympic trailer that they shared is incredibly similar to this particular interlude. And I was rewatching this interlude, and so it's black and white. She's wearing this very wide brimmed black hat. She's holding this, I don't know what you would call it, like a giant flat orb.
Circle?
Or, basically she takes off the hat and uses God, this is so hard to describe.
So she uses the hat to basically as a shadow from this white circular orb thing.
Right. And make an eclipse, essentially. So it should be noted that Gaga was originally supposed to appear, we don't know if it's performed, but she was supposed to appear in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, which were held in 2021 because of COVID. That appearance was canceled by, don't laugh, Nintendo, because there was some Gaga coming out of a Mario pipe or something. Does anyone know?
Yeah, the story is that Gaga was supposed to jump into a warp pipe, and then someone else, I believe like a famous Japanese person, was going to appear out of it after she jumped in, and then they would introduce something for the Olympics.
Huh. Interesting.
Sad. I love Nintendo a lot. Big Nintendo nerd. And Lady Gaga, big stan, obviously.
Love Nintendo.
The two colliding would have been a dream come true, but hey, maybe we'll see it again someday.
Okay, so we've got the receipts for all of this. There's tons of connections. And as you know, at the House of Delusion podcast, House of Delulu Discord, we love clues and we love putting all these things together and making theories that don't actually happen. So essentially, who is Thomas Jolly, right? So he's the artistic director of the opening and closing ceremonies for the 2024 Summer Games. He recently followed Gaga and Nicola Formichetti on Instagram. In addition to that, members of his team, including choreographers, costume design, etc., also follow Gaga. In every Olympics, I guess it's routine for there to be a performance from someone from the next host country. So, for example, Woodkid performed in Paris at the 2021 Olympics.
In Tokyo, you mean?
Yes.
The note says performed in Paris. So I'm wondering if it was like a video.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, it was probably, yeah.
So because it's the next host city performing at the end to kind of like next time on blah, blah, blah. You know.
So Woodkid performed at the closing ceremonies as a bridge to Paris, basically, for the next summer.
Yes.
Correct.
And so Lady Gaga as a closing performer for the Los Angeles Olympics in 2028, would be kind of interesting.
And it is interesting this is all being mentioned because Thomas Jolly is making this out to be or sound like something different than any other closing ceremonies that have been done at any other games before. We kind of see typical closing ceremonies as a celebration of all countries, obviously. They fly their flags, maybe have some performers sing in different languages. Usually the host country has a major part of the closing and opening ceremonies, but it is a combination of all, or culmination of all countries coming together. So, and that's what's interesting is that Thomas Jolly is making it sound like this, but a little bit extra. Like it's more the event to be at, not just related to the Olympics. He's hyping this up to be something else.
Now, someone else involved in the production of the Paris Olympics, the opening and the closing shows is, okay, I don't know if this individual is Spanish or French. Their last name depends on what it is. It would be Kevin Vive in French or Kevin Vives in Spanish. I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. Please, I tried. He is the director and choreographer for the second Dom Pérignon commercial that Gaga did as well. If you remember her using Free Woman, the song Free Woman from Chromatica, and appearing in these weird outfits in Dom Pérignon commercials. He was also behind those. So the same person is involved with the production of the Paris Olympic opening and closing shows as well.
And Woodkid, too, was actually part of the visual team for one of those commercials, too. So it's everything's connected.
Yeah, well, it's a whole family. Yeah, it's a whole family of people.
So Kevin Vives, we'll say, posted on August 11th, Stade de France will be transformed into a gigantic concert hall featuring over 100 performers, acrobats, dancers, and circus artists. He continues, an original soundtrack, new interpretations, musical performances, and the participation of world-renowned singers will complete the picture. Part of the show will take place in the air, while the giant sets, costumes, and spectacular lighting effects will take spectators on a journey through time, both past and future.
See, my concern is world-renowned singers. Like who else?
Well, allegedly it's like a 3-hour thing or something.
Wow.
So it's like a bunch of different performances.
Okay.
I'm sure maybe some countries probably send some other artists to celebrate their country at the Olympics.
Someone who is not Lady Gaga.
This is where it gets a little more theory-ish. So the closing show is called Records, and it's described, this is translated, but a universe of connecting dualities.
Oh my God.
So keep in mind dualities, okay? So we have that post on the 11th. The weekend goes by. Okay, first of all, we have to talk about this post. So you click on the post, you go to the comments. It's page after page after page of every single comment. Gaga, is it Gaga? This is Lady Gaga. Did you guys see all of that?
Every single person, under all of Thomas Jolly's posts, it's Gaga, Gaga, Gaga. Heart, black heart, white heart, Oni emoji. It's all of the above.
So, I mean, it's going to be like the joke of the century if she's not even involved.
It'll be like at that one Super Bowl where everyone thought that SpongeBob was going to perform and then he didn't.
Either Mr. Jolly is laughing in his pants because he's like, yeah, you guys are all going to be so excited when you see this, or he's laughing in his pants being like, you guys are so stupidly delusional.
It's right. Katy Perry, you morons.
Don't say that name.
Okay, so we were freaking out about this post. We started to go through the weekend, and then on Sunday, Nick Knight uploads a frame from Gaga's psychedelic, or what we know as the Eclipse interlude. The frame he uploaded was not included in the final cut of the interlude. So she's holding what I'm going to call the moon, but this giant white sphere above her head. And what I noticed, the very first thing, is she's in the shadow of this moon. What's interesting is like it was in the tour, but they didn't include it in the movie.
And it was one of Actually, was it the only interlude that they didn't include, or were there other interludes that weren't included?
I feel...
No, the interlude was there, but the frame that photograph is from, that particular frame, it does not come from the interlude that was shown.
I watched Gaga Chromatica Ball twice, and I don't remember this interlude being in the film at all.
Oh, the entire thing?
Yeah, it's in the tour. It's not in the film.
Oh, it's in the tour, not in the film. Got it. Okay.
But it gets better, you guys. So Hunter Clem, who's one of Gaga's fashion stylists, on this particular post commented, "Black heart, white heart."
Oh my God. So this confirms the moon is back now. The moon is back, baby.
So we have Gaga wearing a black outfit to Chromatica Ball premiere, wearing a white outfit. She's doing Black Heart. I mean, we've had duality in black and white. I mean, am I wrong?
And then Thomas Jolly, and then the Olympics saying duality, a universe of duality, universe, space, the moon, duality, black and white, heaven, hell. Is this it? Are we finally reaching the end game?
I hope so. I don't think I can hold on much longer.
Sorry, I just dropped my pen.
Uh-oh. So the final part of these little clues is Show Studio, who houses all of the interludes for Gaga. On Nick Knight's post, they posted the exact same eclipse emoji that Jolly, Paris 2024, and Stade de France used to promote the Olympic event.
I did not know that, and my brain just did something there, like a good feeling.
I just got goosebumps saying it, so...
Hey, I'm just reading this in the notes here. Show Studio, so who's in charge of Gaga's interludes, commented on Nick Knight's photo with the same emoji, the exact same one. There's multiple moon emojis out there for different phases that Jolly, the Paris 2024, and Stade de France used to promote the event. You guys, that is so exciting.
It's literally
very exciting.
Well, there's 4 emojis for that eclipse, and it's the one right before the black completely covers the moon, and they both use that exact one. Like, it's just like, why is he uploading this now? Why is he using this emoji? Why is House of Gaga commenting on it with black and white? You know, I mean, look, you guys, it could be completely nothing. It's July. We thought new music was going to be here in I thought new music was going to be here in February, thanks to Blade.
Me too.
So it could mean completely nothing, but it's getting ridiculous at this point.
I think the possibility of this being legit is higher now. Like, we had very little to work with a month ago and 2 months ago, and definitely before Chromatica Ball. But we have a lot more here. We have a lot of corroboration from people connected to the Olympics, a lot of hints and teasers from the House of Gaga themselves. And another thing, probably unrelated, but a member on Gaga Daily mentioned that the 20th of July is International Moon Day.
Oh, right.
Yes, because it is going to be the 55th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing.
Ooh. Besides Gaga, that's also interesting too.
Wait, so that's this weekend?
It is, yes, this weekend.
LG7 lead this weekend.
Oh God. And tomorrow, and actually from a marketing and PR's perspective, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays around 12 p.m. Eastern time is the best time to announce general announcements to general audiences. So people like news centers, artists, celebrities will make their announcements on social media at those times because of, well, social media ups and downs. Mondays and Fridays being the worst days, along with Sundays too. So that's why we should never expect anything on a Monday. If there's going to be anything this week, we might hear it tomorrow, or as early as tomorrow, or as late as Thursday. Crossing my fingers, we hear something though.
As of the date of recording, yes.
Once you hear this, there might be news. I mean, things are developing so fast. As of recording, I'm sure there's been more Olympic development rumors too. So,
well, speaking of that, as I was making my notes for the episode, Thomas Jolly uploaded a new teaser with a hooded and armored figure fastening their belt with their left hand, with a caption. Cal, how do you pronounce that?
I have to find the post.
It's like Elie approche.
Oh, she approaches.
Oh, elle approche.
Which Google Translate is she's approaching. So
she approaches.
If you've seen the ad, you know, this figure is shorter in stature. They're using their left hand. Hot trivia, Gaga is left-handed. The figure is using a glove with claws on it. but it is technically a advertisement for the opening ceremony because it shows the opening date in like the corner of the ad or whatever. So we could be reading into this, but it is very odd. So the translation could be referencing just the event itself, but obviously, we want it to be Gaga. So.
Yeah, no, I'm just watching this video right now as I'm saying this. And this whole entire black look and even the kind of chrome silverness to it. This is definitely very Gaga style. It is interesting.
It would also be confusing if it were Gaga because we just said she was supposed to be at the closing ceremony.
Yeah, so a little bit of confusion to mix up with the rumors here, but I have a very strong belief that Gaga is involved with the ceremonies in the Olympics in one way or another. All of the dots just make too much sense with too many people hinting at it.
Yes. Reminds me of the meme image of the guy next to the board with all the strings connected.
Oh, yeah. That's literally us in motion all the time, like trying to make things happen that probably aren't happening.
I'm not going to lie. The Little Monster community is literally just the set of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the show it was from. That's it.
This is my Hannah Montana lip gloss.
Alrighty. So now as we approach the end of the podcast here, I want to kind of go over the frustration that this wait has been. I know it's getting exciting that we're finally getting some rumors picking up again, which is always kind of a good hint that the new era is about to start. But since, I would say, January, February, things have been a roller coaster ride for the Little Monster community. Myself included, I've had a few not so great moments in the Discord. So if you've seen those, I apologize.
I had one today.
We've all been there, and I don't blame anyone, honestly. The frustration, it's there. Gaga's music connects with us in deeply personal ways. And that's why people are frustrated, is because Gaga is our world most of the time. And yeah, we could go touch grass, and yeah, we could go see other things. But she's built this amazing community, and I don't know what I feel.
I mean, I think it would be a different conversation if, number one, she teased so much in the studio this year. More, with other eras, it was like, oh, a studio post like once every 2 weeks or something. But this year, I mean, January, February, maybe the beginning of March, I can't remember. It was like bam, 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 replying to TikTok comment, replying to this, and in addition to that, literally teasing the new era with a snippet of new music at the end of the Chromatica Ball film. Also in the interviews saying, when can fans expect new music? She said soon. I mean, it's almost been 2 months since she said that, and it was teased. And it's just...
She never mentioned it once since, though, too.
Yeah. And there was like a 3-week social media blackout after Chromatica Ball. She did Jazz and Piano, and now we're almost in another 2-week blackout. So we're just like, what the fuck?
That's why you can't blame people for being frustrated.
Yeah. Cal, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I'm hungry, I'm sleepy. No, I mean, I have been busier, with real life things over the past couple of weeks, so I've kind of been out of the loop myself, and so it hasn't really seemed quite as long to me as it might have seemed to you guys. So I still have some patience left in my tank, but it really is kind of like, okay, you either do number 2 or you get off the pot, as they say.
But I mean, that's what's great about the Discord is, even though we don't necessarily have news, you get to talk with fans all over the world in real time. Music interest, shows interest. I mean, it expands beyond Gaga, but the point is you're not the only one that's experiencing this frustration with the wait. And I don't know. I love talking with everyone and hearing their experiences with how they're dealing with this wait.
Mm-hmm. And so basically, if you've complained and someone told you can't complain, well, your complaints are valid. Don't worry about that.
Complain with us.
Yeah, come on down to House of Delulu and complain with us.
Yeah, and speaking of complaining with us, honestly, leave your complaints in the comment section below. I want to hear what you guys have to say, and I'll feature some of them in the next episode there. I just want to hear what the kind of wait has been like for you guys leading up to this moment here.
So our Derpga Especial, Jenny, as well as Maison, both users from our Discord, asked similar questions around touring. So what do you think touring will look like for LG7? and in Gaga's future in general?
I kind of think Gaga's already found her groove with what works for her, considering her busy schedule combined with her chronic pain and mental health issues. She really seems to flourish better when she's in one place. This one place, I suppose, being Vegas, because she has kind of like a home base and she doesn't have to tire her body out physically quite as much. And for the times where she is, called upon to travel and see different parts of the world as part of a larger album tour, for example, Chromatica, it does make sense that if she has the pull to sell out large stadiums, then that's what you should do, because it kind of is the maximum amount of people for the minimum amount of dates. Sure. You do one show, you see, and you get 3 to 4, shows worth of people and revenue out of that. And you can have maybe 15, 20 dates over 3 to 4 months, that kind of works around the rest of your busy schedule, any kind of flare-ups that your fibro has. And it does, basically everything you kind of want. It's a win-win for her and her team. Now, I know that everyone who is not in the United States or Western Europe will hate to hear me say that. And I wish she didn't have fibro and she didn't have all these other issues, but I'm supposing that's where her record label says, hey, this is where you're going to make the most bang for your buck. This is where you're most known. This is where you sell the best. Only tour here, right? But I know so many people in Japan and Brazil and everywhere else just really want to have Gaga come to their country, especially like the way that she did during the Born This Way ball, where she went all over South America. She went down under. She went to South Africa. She went to Southeast Asia. She went everywhere. And it would be great for her to do that again. It sounds like a lot of fun. But as we saw, she worked herself into the point where she needed to, get in a wheelchair and have major therapy. So we kind of have to balance out what we want out of Gaga versus what Gaga can really do while staying healthy and able to actually meet all the actual demands of keeping up a good career that's healthy and does everything that she wants out of a career, which is movies, shows, Nurtec, whatever.
Yeah.
The Nurtec ball is not gonna, fund itself.
No.
So I think she's found that balance.
For me, I would really like to see her go more around the world. I don't know if that looks like splitting up the tour into like 2 different years or something, but I feel like they have to work something out. A lot of people in the Discord, from around the world have been like, oh, she hasn't been here since 2012 or etc. So I don't want to say like she owes it to them, but I feel like when you're in that line of work, it's definitely something that's expected. So I'm curious to see if, as Cal was saying, she's worked with her doctors and her team to figure out a way to be more international. Because I know she has lots and lots and lots of love all around the world. But I do think after seeing the Chromatica ball and the film, because when you go to the tour, you see just from where you are, but when you see the film, it's like a completely different experience. So, we see how hard she works. We now know she had COVID for 5 dates during that tour. So, I don't know. I think the Super Bowl performance was like her really proving she can dance and sing live and not completely die. So yeah, I feel like LG7 is going to be big.
Yep. I agree with all you guys there. Her health is a priority in this case. And as we've seen in previous tours, she's had some accidents and injuries, which definitely need to be taken care of long term. So I think she will find a way to manage things with Vegas and stadium performances or tours.
Yeah.
Like what she did with Gaga Chromatica Ball. It was a very small, what was it, originally 6 or 7 cities between Europe and North America.
Yeah.
I could see her doing something like that. She has a bigger audience. Hopefully she does something like that again. Maybe 10 to 15 cities around the world, some of the biggest, most populated where she is popular.
And I mean, if there aren't large enough venues in certain countries or certain regions, then I mean, I know that people would really like for her to go to, certain parts like Eastern Europe or South Central Europe, like the Balkans or somewhere. And if that particular country does not have a venue that is large enough for the type of target revenue and audience that she and her label are looking for, then I don't think she would go there, even if she, quote unquote, owes it to them, which is horrible. It's a hard truth. But I mean, a lot of the logistics behind it are purely just financial in scope. I wish it wasn't like that, but like I know that there is not like a 200,000 person stadium in Estonia or whatever. Sorry, Estonia, to call you out like that. But like,
can't wait for the Estonian to come in the comments and like prove you wrong or something.
Right.
I mean, I would be very glad if they did and Gaga saw it and flew all of us to Estonia to see her perform the LG7 tour in Estonia. I think that would be great. Yeah, well, shut up. Tere tulemast.
But I mean, just think about Brazil. Think about South America. Like, I mean, in my opinion, if she owes anyone, she owes Brazil. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, Brazil gives her that coin. She hasn't been there since, 2012?
Yeah, well, she was supposed to do Rock in Rio, and then I think her fibro kicked up, and so she couldn't do it. But I know they have very large stadiums in Rio, so they could do it there, theoretically. Just saying.
Come on, Gogs.
Come on, Gags.
Booby-dooby-doop. But on that note...
Movie-dooby-doop.
That concludes all of our news and rumors for this week's episode. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are now 4 episodes deep into this podcast, which actually that's a good start. Usually people start maybe 1 or 2 and they quit. So thank you so much, Cal and Bling, for being here and helping me with this so much. You guys have made this into something spectacular. So thank you guys so much.
No problemo.
We couldn't do it without the listeners. I mean, we're doing this for you guys, so.
It's true. And we also couldn't do it without our audio engineer and editor, who is also the host of the podcast.
All Cal and I do is talk, and Billy is the one who's like 8 hours in editing.
Who does all the work.
Basically, I sit 8 hours with my headphones blasted listening to our cringe conversations and just being like, let's just delete that out of history.
Another thing I feel like we should include is if you guys, the listeners, have any ideas about what you'd like to hear us discuss, any revisits that you want us to look into, please let us know, because as you know, the LG7 well is kind of drying up, so we definitely want to keep feeding you guys. So just let us know either in the suggestions in the Discord or in the comments of this podcast.
So if you're from Estonia and I'm wrong, please don't hate me. Thank you.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. See you in the next one.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.